Over time, some of the peoples grew arrogant. Seeing their arcane gifts as proof the gods held no sway over their fate, some began to believe that, with enough understanding, they could become as powerful as the gods themselves. Hello again, adventurers. Let us continue our tale on the myth of Exandria. Last time, we covered the founding, the awakening of the children, and their first clash with the fallen deities and the primordials. We left off with the birth of the Dawn City, Vasselheim, in the lands of Isilra. Culture developed, the young races explored new lands and made them their own. Music filled the air with joy, giving the world the name Exandria. The myth continues with the Age of Arcanum, when the children of creation mastered their arcane gifts from the gods. This was the Second Age, with the timeline at around 1500 years before the events of the first campaign of Critical Role. With newfound arcane magic, the mortal races of Exandria took aside their faith in the prime deities. This was indeed a surprise to the gods, and they were hurt, but ultimately they had understanding for the children. They endured, out of love and hope for redemption. The arcane art sped up the rise of kingdoms throughout the lands. Castles were built in a day, crop grew rapidly, and seas were always favorable for sailing. The mages did not stop there. They always sought new ways to improve and to perfect their art. Soon, they would unlock the secrets to life and death, creating their own forms of life, new and strange, both wondrous and full of danger. Arcane magic seemed to be a catalyst for a prosperous age, an age of plenty. However, with wealth comes greed. Mortals always wanted more. More resources, more riches, more lands, more subjects, and more life. A rumor of achievable immortality and godhood spread amongst the elite of mages, which only fueled their lust for power. It is whispered that a mortal mage, whose name had been erased from history, probably by magical means, took down the god of death, replacing him as one of the divine. This made her the first and only mortal to ascend to godhood, although more would try later. This tale caught the ear of Archmage Vespin Chloras, who, in his ignorance, called forth the betrayer gods from their prisons, unleashing them again into the mortal realm. Little that he knew that the agents of evil did not stand by idly in the hells and in the abyss, but rather they were biding their time, gathering their forces, waiting for such a chance. Now unbanished, the devils and the demons brought to Exandria their legions, and it was ripe for the taking. They created a new and terrible kingdom on the far end of the world called Ghor Dranas, located in present-day Sorhas. As for the fate of their savior, Chloras was made into their first thrall. The evil of the lower planes seeped into the material plane, seeding poison among mortal races, tainting their minds with promises of great wealth and fortune. But it always comes at a price. Now, equipped with their own army, the betrayer gods made their presence known to the rest of Exandria and assaulted the Dawn City itself. Vasselheim was all but crushed and much of the city laid in rubble, but it had endured. The prime deities had intervened, aiding their children against their former brothers and sisters. It is said that the battle amongst mortals and gods lasted for 20 days and 20 nights, ending with the defeat of the Dark Ones. On the 20th night, the Lords of Darkness went for a surprise attack against the Primes, but were thwarted by gods and mortal heroes alike. They were forced to retreat, and Vasselheim was saved. However, the seed of doubt that the Dark Ones had planted in the minds of mortals had grown. They feared that their world can be easily ruined, even under the gods' eyes. They trusted one another less and less, and began to focus their arcane and divine magics to other purposes. Elves used their inert connection to the world to create spells of horrible destruction. Dwarves made legions of automatons called golems to protect their fortresses. Humans made artifacts of incredible power to be wielded by the mightiest of heroes. Since the war with the Primordials, this has been the first time that magic was being used for war. As for the prime deities, they were still being worshipped, but prayers were spoken for aid in battle if the time comes. And it soon will. Thank you so much for watching. In the next video, we will explore the Calamity, a dreadful war that fell upon Exandria, changing its face forever. And, as always, your support will help keep Gravity Bits growing, so if you like the content, feel free to subscribe, like on Facebook and Instagram, and check out the website for more content on everything RPG related. For Gravity Bits, this is Z. Cheers!